Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about the potential transfer that you can consider to do for the upcoming game week 19 double. And after that, I'm going to show you my transfer plan and also the team selection at the end of the video too. So let's start off with a bit of a short review for game week 18. So for game week 18, it was good, but just not good enough to get a green arrow. I invested very heavily on Man City and Liverpool players, but they didn't perform at all. The 2 goals scored for Liverpool is both an on goal and from Leicester City, and Haaland did score 1 goal, but I thought he's the kind of guy that is going to score a lot more against Everton. And De Bruyne has blanked for the last 3 games, and I kind of wonder whether I should start considering players like Odegaard, who is much more cheaper and value for money. And then Trippier has proven his consistency in his game by getting 8 points. Walker did not play for the 2 weeks in a row now, and I think he's not going to play for the next game either. And I thought Martial had a good chance to score or get something against Wolves, but Wolves has such a terrible defense in the league right now, but unfortunately he did not get anything. In summary, I just hope that game week 19 will be much better than game week 18. Now on first glance, that double game week 19 is not the best. The double fixture doesn't look too amazing. There's really not a lot of choices for us to choose. I don't think you should be going for Fulham or Chelsea defenders, because I think that neither Fulham nor Chelsea is going to get a clean sheet. The team they're facing all have good players that can score goals. After watching that Chelsea versus Forest game yesterday, I think Chelsea just concede too many shots to Forest, and I'm not convinced that you should be going for any Fulham or Chelsea defenders. So this is why my suggestions is to go very heavily on the midfield and forwards of both Chelsea and Fulham. So there are some possible suggestions on who to transfer in for Chelsea players. Among the 3, Havertz has a higher XG expected goals, and he's taking some shots too, which is good to see. Sterling does take lesser shots, but he makes a lot of good runs into the penalty box too. Obviously, he's more of a creator rather than a goal scorer, so an assist rather than a goal is always more likely for Raheem Sterling. His ability to finish a ball is also quite good. Among these 3, I do not recommend going for Mal, because this guy has the lowest XA and XG combined. He does take a lot of shots too for Chelsea, don't get me wrong, but he has the tendency to take them further away from the goal post, and he tends to arrive late into the opposition box too. So the main target man should still be Havertz for Chelsea as of now. I think that either one of Havertz or Sterling looks pretty good if you are considering to transfer in some Chelsea players for your team. So for possible suggestions on who to transfer in for Fulham players, there can only be 2 here. Mitrovic and Andrews is both key attacking threat for Fulham. If you look at Mitrovic's stats, it's just so amazing. The guy takes a lot of shots, more than a lot of forwards. He took them in the box, and his shot accuracy is very good at 55.6%. He also has a high XG expected goals too. The only issue with Mitrovic is if he does get a yellow card, which is his 5th yellow card in the first fixture of the double game week, he's going to miss the 2nd fixture of the double game week. But if that doesn't happen, then you have a deadly striker who can potentially perform for 2 games in a row. I think fitness is not an issue anymore, because we have seen him play in the last 2 games. In the last game, he played 90 minutes. So if he's available, he will definitely start for both Fulham games. The only issue is that potential 5th yellow card, and if you can live with that risk, then Mitrovic is the guy for you. And for Andrews, he's getting more adept to Fulham attacking style of play. So he's taking a lot of shots, and he's also getting more and more advanced into the opposition penalty box. So his XG and shot accuracy is pretty good too. So if let's say Mitrovic is not playing, if somehow Mitrovic is getting that yellow card for the first fixture of the double game week, then you have the 2nd fixture for Andrews to take charge. And the good thing about Andrews is that if Mitrovic is not playing, then he will be the guy to take penalties too. So let's talk about my team selection for game week 19, and let's start off with a blank pitch. First, for my goalkeeper, I've gone for Kepa again. I think both Man City and Fulham are likely to score against Chelsea, but this is a double game week, so no matter what, I have to pick Kepa. right? One thing about Kepa is his save points. He makes a total of 4 saves in each game against Bournemouth and Forest. So if he can keep a clean sheet against one of Man City or Fulham, then there's a decent chance of both clean sheet and bonus point in one of these matches. Moving on to my defense, the first pick is Raytopia. Arsenal is a terrible fixture for Newcastle. For the past 5 games, Newcastle has conceded a total of 12 goals to Arsenal, and they have scored a total of 0 goals too. But nevertheless, this is Raytopia, and I think he's as essential as Haaland right now. And you also have to consider that this season Newcastle is a different Newcastle from the past. So even though this is against Arsenal, I'm still going for him in my pick. For my other 2 defenders, there's not a lot of choice for me except to pick Patterson and White. Walker is on my bench and he's not starting for the last 2 matches, so he's unlikely to start for the next match also. And also for Leno, he's facing off against an informed Aston Villa who has won 3 of their last 4 games since Emery took charge. So both Patterson and White are a decent pick for me. Moving up to my midfield, we have De Bruyne, who has weirdly not been doing so well since he came back from the World Cup. I don't really expect much from De Bruyne in this Chelsea game because Chelsea is no pushover, and this is going to be a tough away fixture too. Both Martinelli and Salah have slightly easier fixture. According to history and past record, Arsenal does always score against Newcastle, and Liverpool have scored against Brentford for the last 2 games since they're promoted to the Premier League. So there is a good chance that both Martinelli and Salah will get some attacking returns. And then we have Andrews, who has his double game week. Him and Andrews and Mitrovic are both essential players for Fulham attacking play. So if they're both fit, they are both going to start for Fulham's double game week. And speaking of Mitrovic, he's one of the players that I am transferring in. I think fitness is no longer an issue for Mitrovic because he has been starting for the past 2 games. Ever since at the start of the seasons, whenever Mitrovic play, he has been taking a lot of shots in the box and he's fairly accurate too. There's one big risk with Mitrovic. It is his potential 5th yellow card that he may get in his first fixture in the double game week. If he does get a yellow card against Leicester, he will have to sit out against Chelsea. I'm also predicting that Mitrovic are going to get higher score than Darwin Núñez, even though Núñez is facing Brentford and he's equally able to get some attacking returns too. Another transfer I'm doing is Martial to Havertz. I think Martial game against Bournemouth is a decent fixture, but I do like Havertz double game week more. I think Havertz has been the main man for Chelsea right now. He's taking more shots now and getting into the penalty box more often. And I think that Chelsea may score against Man City because Man City defense has been pretty average this season. They've conceded in the past 4 games now. So a clean sheet for Man City is quite unlikely. And against Fulham, who is one of the Premier League team who concedes a lot of shots against their oppositions, I think that Havertz has a good chance of scoring against Fulham too. And of course, my next pick will be Haaland. He's an essential player for me and I'm going to pick him no matter what. My bench consists of Ward, Almiron, Bleno and Walker. Ward do not have a double game week, so I have opted for a Kepa. And Almiron is great, but Newcastle is facing off against Arsenal, which past record does suggest that Newcastle have a hard time scoring at the Emirates. And Wolf is also facing off against an informed Aston Villa, so it makes sense to put Bleno on the bench too. And Walker has not been starting for the last 2 games, so he's very likely to be benched for the game against Chelsea too. For captain, I'm putting it on Havertz, and Mitrovic will be my vice captain. I'm taking a very huge risk and huge gamble right here. I think a double game week is one moment that I will consider captaining someone else other than Haaland. And I'm also worried about Mitrovic's potential 5th yellow card in the Leicester game. And so this is why I chose to captain Havertz instead. And in summary, I think Havertz is a great differential, and if this double game week does pay off for Havertz, then I will likely see a green arrow in my rank. Alright guys, we have come to the end of the video. If you do like my content, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for future FPL content. Please remember to do all your transfer before 4 PM UK time today. Yes, the transfer deadline is today. And all the best to everyone for Game Week 19, and I shall see you all again. Goodbye.